Welcome to USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. Guess who? It's me, and I'm back. And I'm really excited to have you here with us on USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. Our show is Stories of Hope, Inspiration, and Overcoming Adversity. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. I actually love this show really the most because it's the one I started out with. This was our very first show that we did on the radio. And from there, we went to Zoom and then to StreamYard. And now we have between 18 and 20 shows a week within 3 days. So I started with this show because of the fact that I wanted to give people a place to share their stories of how they've overcome adversity and then how they're inspiring people around the world. We have someone with us today who has become a dear friend, and she has her own story. So let's bring her out, the lovely Caroline Heward. Nice to see you.
And you too. Lovely to be here.
I feel like I see you almost every day now.
I think you do. You certainly have this week.
Yes, it's wonderful. I saw you last night as well. So
it was the 3 hours of the morning in the UK.
So yes, Caroline is joining us from the UK, and we want to hear your story. But before we do, I just want to start from here and work backwards. So you are the Harley Street stress experts. And for those who aren't aware of what Harley Street is, can you share a little bit of information about that?
In London, there is a street that is famous for good doctors and expensive doctors, I have to say, but good ones. And it's the name of the street that is attractive to all the best practitioners that there is. And so it's a symbolism of being good to be in Harley Street.
Thank you very much. Now, Caroline, I've actually had the honor of having you work with me in a transformational session. And, you know, you had an incredible career in corporate, and you're a speaker, you're very well respected, but your life hasn't always been so as it is today, as someone would look at you and say, oh, she's got everything, she's got it all together. Where would you like to start with your story of overcoming adversity?
I'd like to start with the year 2000, and I got married. My dad wasn't particularly well, and it was a triumph that he was able to walk me down the aisle, and it was a big affair. I did all the big white wedding, and we released 12 doves. You know, did the big thing, and I was very pleased and very proud that my dad was able to walk me down the aisle. And 3 months after we got married, so shortly after we got all the photographs, he passed away. And one of the big things that I want to say about that is that at 36 years old, I didn't actually think that my dad would die. I know that sounds really crazy, but I just didn't think that would happen. And so I was very optimistic that he wasn't well, but he would be okay. But he wasn't. And when I got the call to tell me that he'd passed away, I was in a lot of shock. Now, at the time, I was working in corporate and very successful in PR and marketing. And I loved the work I did. And it was, you know, I lived quite a socialite lifestyle. And so I went back to my mum's, and then there was lots of things to do, you know, lots of activity surrounding the fact that my father passed away. And I got very involved in that. And after 2 weeks, my boss called and said, I think it's time you came back to work. So I went back to work, and I didn't feel like I felt like I was sort of just getting on with everything, and I'd just got married. So it was a strange time that I just, you know, had to just get on with lots of things. And after about 6 months, my boss turned around to me and he said he was very concerned. He thought there was something dreadfully wrong with me and felt that I needed to go and talk to somebody because you know, he was worried. So he suggested that I went to speak to my then husband to see what he thought. And my then husband said, well, you're not such a silly bunny. And my response to that, being the corporate girl, is, well, I better get a life then, hadn't I? So I said, I'm not very happy where I am, so I need to sort out my CV. And I went into the very practical of what I felt that was wrong. And
so, Caroline, I want to interject and ask you a question. So, when your boss said this at the time, were you feeling that maybe this person overstepped? Did you feel this person was being a friend? What did you think about that at the time?
no, he loved me. That effect on people. He really cared, and we used to joke and laugh a lot, and we were very close. And our desks were very close to each other. He was my director, and when he said that, I felt that he was genuinely concerned for me. And I asked questions. I said, well, what do you mean? I've just got married. I should be the happiest girl in the world. Don't be so silly. And he says, well, you don't speak anymore. You don't. You just don't socialize, and you come in. And I says, well, is my work not okay? And he says, oh no, your work's brilliant. He says, but Caroline is not here. And that worried me. That kind of made me. But after that was 6 months later, and I realized what had happened. I knew what it was, but it was the clamber to get back to, well, okay, what happened to me? What the hell went wrong? And it was difficult. It was really challenging because I didn't understand. I was going through the motions without the emotion and almost on autopilot. And when I became aware, that led me into looking at other therapies, trainings. And of course, corporate girl, I was looking for very expensive trainings, corporate-like trainings. And they were not a small price. Career development loan is an indication of the kind of level of investment that I made to look and sort out what was wrong with me. And that led me into being qualified, and that gave me the qualification that entered my status in Harley Street, and I changed my career. So it was very different because I was having to do case studies as part of that work. And I was very good at what I was doing, and I enjoyed what I was doing, and I was changing my life as well as changing other people's lives for the better. And it was different, but I was still straddling my corporate life for a few years because I was still a chartered marketer. So I still had that going on. And my life began to change, and I moved into full-time therapy once I'd been made redundant from my corporate job. And so I had time to practice and time to do the training. And after a number of years, I became fully, fledged. I set up a limited company, which had a copyright trademark status, and it was all really big and new and exciting. Because I was that corporate girl, it was always appropriately correct in terms of the way that I set up the business. And something happened in 2016 in the family. There was some family sickness, and all the things that I was doing didn't seem to work. I didn't cope with what had happened in the family. And so I started looking for answers outside of my normal corporate lifestyle and my normal therapy. And I started looking for other people to help me because I wasn't able to cope with the family challenges. And what I did was I found gong baths, I found outside meditations, and I found concerts that people were chanting at. So I went and chanted with over 900 other people at a big chapel in the city. And I didn't realize that other people chanted. I'd been doing it for 9 years then on my own, privately, in my own four walls. But I didn't appreciate that other people did that too. And other people had tons of benefits from it. And other people were getting, and so 900 people in a big chapel and me in there. You can imagine I floated home. I float anyway, doing my chanting. And suddenly that normal therapy of working on my own, I always felt very, very alone with my clients for many years because it was just the journey that I did. And at the time that I started, there wasn't all the Google and the Eventbrite and the internet that we have today. And slowly, I changed, and I literally became a floating, blissed out person. And I was coping, and I sorted out my own inner trauma again. And I
want to stop you right there. Sorry. I want to stop and ask some questions because I know people are going to wonder this. What is chanting?
Okay. Chanting is, I learnt chanting back in 2007. And Sanskrit mantra chanting is what I do. And the person I started chanting with is Diva Premal and Mitan. And essentially, I just had the CDs on and I was singing along. So chanting is kind of singing along. And it set a vibration, a heart vibration. And it literally moves you from a state of stress, anxiety, depression, worry, concern, angst, anger, to a place of inner bliss and inner calm. And so the practice of chanting Sanskrit mantra literally moved me from the thinking conversational head where I was just in overdrive at the time into my heart. And I felt different, and I felt completely calm. And the battle, the internal battle that I had inside was gone. 900 people plus me was on rocket fuel. I was literally on rocket fuel in terms of the experience that I had from that. And I also did some gong baths where literally there's a huge gong, and then gong masters literally play the gong with different bangs and sort of strokes. And your body is covered in vibrational, it's all vibration, it's frequency. And so I just felt like I'd been bathed in like sort of ultra heart frequency, and I was just full of love. And I felt so different. And these were things that I'd not known about before. So I was kind of an early bird in terms of discovering gong baths. And it changed my life. And I met some incredibly talented people at the time. And I resolved that inner battle that I was going through. And when I've resolved it, I made a decision. I said, right then, I've resolved my inner battle twice. And now I'm going to focus on creating world peace, because if I can do that for myself, I can do that for everyone else. And so then I changed my focus from just seeing my normal stressed out clients to helping people from war-torn countries. And suddenly my client base, they were coming from places like Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Lebanon, Northern Ireland, all the different places, South Africa, all the places that were in demise in terms of civil wars and unrest. And I thought, well, this is good. And I was still happening one by one, and that still didn't feel enough. And it still wasn't enough for me. And in 2018, even though I was doing all those things, in that change of decision to create world peace, something else interesting happened to my career. I started speaking on stage. I landed up attracting two promoters, one of them Philip Chan, who became a mentor as well as a promoter. And my beautiful friend, Desmond O'Connor, just became a bit like what's happened with us. They were loving what I was doing, and I was loving who I was being. And I was able to share all those years of my training in a totally authentic way. And I was always doing a healing session almost, and looking at the subject matter. And it was beautiful. I got very frightened about the tech, but my promoters were really, really good at like calming all that down, and they made that work. And in 2018, my baby brother had not been well, and he passed away the day before his 50th birthday. And that really hit me quite hard, because you don't kind of expect that your youngest sibling would die. And even though he wasn't well, he was, you just don't expect it. And it hit the whole family in a really, really big way. And I didn't handle it. But this time I did grieve. This time, because I'd done years of my training, years of my therapy work, and I really did, and I couldn't do anything. I was pretty much tantamount useless in organising anything. My dear sister-in-law stepped into the breach with my mum, and they did a lot of the organising. And this time I took a step back and I made a decision that I would allow myself to grieve. And it was extremely a challenging time. And then it was very busy, and the funeral wasn't until the 11th of September 2018. Now, we were all talking about the 11th of September, and on the day, it was 11 o'clock, an hour before the funeral. I was standing in the kitchen with my middle brother, and I said, "Do you realise it's 9/11?" He says, "Yeah, I realised this morning, sis." And I said, "Well, do you know what? I have to do something. Because you know what? I'm playing too small a game. I have to create world peace. I have to do more, because this one by one is just not enough. And I have to do more. And if this was ever a sign, this is a sign that it's important. I've solved my own inner battles, and I've got practices, and I've got things that I can do. And do you know what? I just want to help everyone else, because we don't need to suffer. We don't need to be challenged in this way. And I can escape by not going to a nightclub. I can just play healing mantras, and I literally go from stress, anxiety, concern, worry, to feeling blissed out, feeling really, really good. And in Tony Robbins' words, feeling good for no good reason, just literally feeling amazing, groaning and moaning when I'm in bed alone, just feeling incredible. And I wanted that for the world. And so right then I said to my brother, I am going to task myself. I'm going to give myself 3 months to grieve, because that's right and that's important. And then I'm going to look at aligning myself with peace organizations, with people that are doing more, because I'm clearly not able to do more on my own. So I need to align myself with organizations.
That's Caroline. Sorry, we have to go to commercial break. But when we come back, I want to talk about the work you are doing in helping create world peace. And thank you for being so authentic and transparent and sharing your story. I know that that's got to be difficult, reliving it and sharing it with the world the way you are. So I really have a lot of respect for you for doing that. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a commercial break and hear from some of our sponsors. And please do stay with us here on USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, my name is Ralph Graves Jr. I'm the host of the Ralph Graves Jr. Show, and I want to invite you to pick up my book, Unstoppable. I wrote a book called Unstoppable. It's 7 universal laws that will transform how you pursue and achieve success. The one thing that my 20 years of law enforcement has taught me is that no matter who you are, we are all governed by universal laws, like gravity. But in this book, we're going to talk about laws like the law of forgiveness, laws like the law of control, the law of intelligent practice, the law of expectancy. I was able to see how those, no matter what their background was, those who identified and treated these laws with respect, they were able to go on and lead successful lives. So pick up this book, and you can go ahead and pick it up at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, RalphGravesJr.com, where anywhere where fine books are sold. Thank you.
There are 7.7 billion people on Earth today. 40% of these people are under the age of 25. Young adults are the most fertile mission field in the world today. In Scripture, we see Jesus pouring his life into 12 young adults who he equipped to change the world and all of history. Like Jesus, we believe that the best approach to reach the world with the gospel is to invest in young, emerging leaders and equip them to build disciple-making movements. Concentric is the notion of surrounding and sharing a common center. Our center is the model and strategy of Jesus for both leadership development and ministry formation. As a global alliance, we provide equipping in biblical leadership based on Jesus' example in the New Testament. Jesus modeled for us how to make disciples that reproduce. Focusing on leadership development is key to creating movements that spread the gospel and Jesus' disciple-making strategy to young leaders around the globe. Our Ministry Alliance partners are actively equipping leaders and building movements of multiplication that reproduce the life of Christ. Join us today to equip young leaders with Jesus' strategy that will change cities and nations.
The session that we had with BCAT was really entertaining and enlightening. We were able to put together some very specific steps that we as individuals can take, and it was really fun to all come together and see sort of where we're going as a team and how we can all get there together.
We had a tremendous experience with the BCAT partners. One of the challenges that we have as an organization is to make sure that we have the right people in the right chairs doing the right thing. To do that well, you have to have synergy. You can try to dream up ways to make sure that your group does that, or you can rely on experts. We would recommend BCAT partners to anybody who's looking to take their organization to the next level.
Academy Sedan and Limo is a full-service transportation company serving the Philadelphia metropolitan area with full knowledge of the New York City, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. areas. We pride ourselves on being the most dependable, conscientious company in the industry. Our always on-time service and dependable pricing make us the company to call for any event or occasion. Our vehicles can accommodate any size party for any occasion. Our vehicles range from four-door sedans to SUVs to minivans to limo buses to full-size tour buses and can accommodate groups of 2 to 100. We offer airport shuttle service or over-the-road service without limitation regarding mileage or time, and no drive is too long or too far. So if you find yourself in need of transportation of any type with any vehicle, give us a call at 610-842-4564 and let us show you what a real transportation company can do for you.
Use code ACADEMY2020 to receive 20% off your first 3 rides, including parking and tolls.
Welcome back to USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. You are watching or listening to stories of hope, inspiration, and overcoming adversity. My guest today is the beautiful Jacalyn Heward, and she has been sharing her story, which she's been through a lot. And again, thank you for being so authentic and transparent and for being so brave to help inspire others. In our first part of the show, Jacalyn shared with us that her father was ill, and he was able to walk her down the aisle at her wedding, which was a magnificent wedding where she released doves into the air, a white wedding. It sounds tremendous. And then sadly, 3 months later, her father passed away, and her boss happened to notice that her behavior had changed at work. And the two of them were close, and so she respected this person's opinion and decided to look into some alternative ways to heal, and left her corporate role, went out on her own, did everything the way she needed everything to be, right? Because you cross the T's and dot the I's to perfection. And then unfortunately, there were some issues in the family. Her brother became ill and then actually passed away, her baby brother, and it was on 9/11. And Jacalyn decided to take 3 months to grieve and then to set out on this incredible mission to achieve world peace. And so instead of going one person at a time, she is going to hit it head on. And she's found some incredible transformational ways that she's incorporated into her life, chanting and gong baths and other wonderful techniques. So Jacalyn, let's pick up from there in terms of your initiatives and your drive for world peace.
After I did the research at the back end of 2018. I found an organization called Universal Peace Federation, and they were aligned with the UN, and they were doing all sorts of things. And I just thought, you know what, that sounds like a good organization to belong to. And the first time I went to a meeting, it was at the beginning of January 2019. And I suddenly felt at home. I felt like there was other people like me, other people that had similar interests to create world peace. And I didn't feel odd anymore. And the beauty of Universal Peace Federation is that they're already doing lots of things and activities and in different parts of the world that are challenged. But within months of being a member of Universal Peace Federation and speaking there and sharing my story, the two directors, they awarded me as an ambassador of peace. And I was a bit shocked because it was on the 19th of May, so it was only a few months later. And I said, well, what have I done? And he said, well, you've done lots of things. And he said, it's the way that you live your life, all the free consultations that you do, all the generosity of the help that you give people in helping resolve their inner conflict. So this Peace Ambassador Award, I was so shocked to get it because I thought I'd have to do quite a lot of work for it. The whole thing about this Ambassador of Peace Award is that it's also a commission to do your part in creating world peace. So it's not just an award, it's a commission. And so one of the things I've done is in 2019, in September 21st, which was International Peace Day, I did a global peace meditation. And there looks like there's going to be another one that's going to happen this year as well. So I'm active working with the Universal Peace Federation to change things, to change the vibration, to create world peace.
Thank you, Caroline. What does it mean for people who are not familiar? What does it mean to be a peace ambassador? What type of responsibilities come along with that?
The first responsibility, I would say, is that I continue doing the work. It's not an award that, thank you very much, you're done. It's more a case of we recognize what you've done thus far, and this is to give you even more clarity that you can do more. And so it's a commission to continue in a much bigger way. And so, yes, I've stepped up my game, and the speaking continued. And now, in the last few weeks, months, I've been on global TV with yourself and looking at sharing, my incredible content, lessons to help people live in a better way and to enable them to control their stress and deal with their stress in a much better way.
Thank you for sharing that, Caroline. And I just wanted our audience to know, because this is about hope and inspiration, that I did have a session with you that really had significant impact on me, and I truly appreciate that. Would you share with our viewers and our listeners how you work with clients to help them?
There's many ways that I work. One of the big things that I do is that usually somebody comes with a story, with something that's not working. So either a relationship breakdown, a bereavement, or stress at work, or they're not sleeping, or physical aches and pains. They come with something, and it's what we're generally complaining about. And in that coming with something, that's where I start, because the story tells us everything about what's not working. And I look for the root cause. I find the root cause with the client, and it's very easy for me because I've been doing it for a long time. I've been working like this for over 2 decades, so it's very easy for me to kind of question in a very small way and find the first time the root cause of the issue or the challenge. And in awareness, the person releases emotion, feeling, and can actually start to heal and integrate what wasn't integrated way back then. And it feels, by the end of the time that I'm with them, even if it's for a free consultation or 1 or 2 symptoms, they will feel lighter the frequent comment is that they feel like they've lost weight and they just feel calmer. There's less thoughts running around in their mind and they feel different, easier. And then when they come back to see me, we go through more things because we're not just one or two symptoms. And therein lies, sort of the ongoing work. But one of the big things I teach people is how to breathe. I know this might sound really crazy, but we hold our stress in our upper chest, so we're breathing in a really shallow way, and then we create more mind. And so essentially one of the big things that I work with is the breath. And when we use the breath, I use very gentle practices to move them from the thinking, conversational mind into the heart. And that's how we create world peace. We actually move ourselves from the head, and then we move into the heart, and then we move into the five sensories, and then there is no pain. All pain resides in the mind. And so when we move into the heart, all there is compassion and love and peace. And so this big job that I've set myself to do, it isn't really that hard. Not when we can all do that. We can all move from the thinking, conversation, analytical mind, which is where all stress and pain reside, into the heart, into the five senses, and we can all be blissed out.
Thank you, Caroline. What do you find that clients typically hold on to? When we think about overcoming something, sometimes we hold on to things that we might not even be aware of, and you can help them realize that. So what types of things do people hold on to when it comes to adversity?
Relationships, failed relationships. I certainly had to work through mine. I had the big white wedding, and it only lasted 5 years. So that was something that I had to work through. So failed marriages, relationships, adversity within the family, so family sickness, bereavements, friendships that don't work. I certainly have had a few of those that have been challenging. And that's because we hold on to friendships, relationships for longer than we need to, because they're all for a reason, a season, a lifetime. But some people can have a breakdown in a marriage, and 10 years later, they're still suffering in the suffering of that breakdown. And sometimes they can be holding a bereavement that they never really integrated and allowed the process of feelings and emotions 10, 20, 30 years later. Some people have trauma in terms of they come from war-torn countries. Certainly people, see a lot of people from Ireland in particular, and that's because Ireland has had a lot of its challenges. And so people that have been born in a place of civil unrest or war, and they learn to cope, but they never switch out and they never find the inner peace. People that have had trauma in terms of rape, domestic abuse, physical gang type challenges. So it doesn't kind of matter, where it comes from. I've kind of looked at the personal kind of things, but, the corporate stuff, I spent a lifetime in corporate being bullied, and didn't really understand why it was happening. And it wasn't easy to handle, but it was just the way it was. And so, when I was in corporate, because if you wanted to do well, it was just that there were some people that were not so pleasant. And it was a struggle. That is going on, and there is a lot of people in our world that are narcissists and psychopaths. And there is, a lot of people in corporate, bankers, traders, that their whole work ethic is in the mind. They're very highly mentally alert and very highly challenged because they have hugely successful business and corporate lives, but they go into their personal life and it doesn't work.
So true. So true. But you are able, through all of the skills and mastery that you have to really help people feel better, be more productive, be more in alignment with their true passion and drive. And as I mentioned before, you really helped me, so I thank you.
Thank you for saying. It's lovely that you feel that you felt so much change, and there is more. I've only just scratched the surface.
More change coming. Yes, I like it. Fantastic. So, Caroline, what's next for you?
What's next? Well, I want to create world peace. I want to work with an army of people to create world peace. I know that sounds really incredibly, like it's huge, but I remember when I was in training, there was something called a BHAG, and it was a shortened acronym for Big Hairy Audacious Goal. Well, that's mine right now. and I'm working with some amazing people that are doing the work, and it is all about doing our work, our own inner work, so that extends to our family, our colleagues, our communities, and our wider family, and to the world. And never have we needed a time like now to come together and be not in a space of stress or trauma. And world peace isn't such a big thing out there. It's actually an inner peace. And if we all have an inner peace, that's where it is, and that's what I want to do. And so for me, global meditations is the thing that I want to be beaming out of everybody's TV screen, because we all have TV screens or computer screens or our phones, and beaming out meditations. And I'm working with an incredible shaman at the moment, Richard, who is just he's creating medicine song to heal our world and our people. And I feel humbly privileged to be working with him, to do meditations with him. And he's also committed to creating world peace. And there are a little band of us. There are many of us, we may be a little, scattered around the world, but there are many of us. And I want to bring together people to beam out of all of the TV screens. I don't know how that's possible. I don't work on the how. I just want to work on, this is what I want.
Right.
and
put it out there.
The how will, I don't know, it will materialize somehow, I am sure. And so that's where I want to go with this. And I don't know how that will happen. I just feel that we have Netflix, we have internet TV, we have USA Global TV. There must be a way of beaming to everybody's home a world meditation for peace. And that's my challenge. And that's my challenge to anybody that has the tech ability. Because if we can beam into everybody's home and change their frequency and move them into a more peaceful state, this is how we gain world peace.
I think you and I are definitely in alignment, because I want the same, and I really believe that part of the challenge, and I mentioned this last night, is the fact that we don't listen to each other. We're filled with judgments, we're filled with solutions, we're filled with just not paying attention to what someone else is saying. So I think if we get in alignment with ourselves and we truly are experts at listening to one another, then we can have world peace. And we can't just take our opinions about things and push them on someone else, because we're not really being present then. So I feel like you and I have a lot of similarities in that area. So I didn't ask you this before the show, but I'm going to ask you now. Would you like to lead us in a short meditation as we close out the program?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I haven't got anything prepared. I could have put the music on. Well,
we can go to a break if you want.
Could we? And then I could find, there's a beautiful, yes, okay. How long do we have for the meditation?
Let's see. It's so my next show is in 15 minutes. So we've got 7 or 8 minutes. Would that be good?
That's good. I will find it, and we will broadcast it. Wonderful. Thank you.
Fantastic. All right, I'm going to put on a very beautiful song. It's the Debutantes singing Paradise, and then we'll be right back. Welcome back to USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. You're watching or listening to Stories of Hope, Inspiration, and Overcoming Adversity. My guest today is the lovely Jacalyn Heward, and she is going to do us the ultimate wonderful thing, taking us into the weekend with a meditation. Jacalyn, I'm going to spotlight you and just share with us anything you want about this particular meditation.
I'm going to read something because it's important for me to share the correct information. This meditation is an earth prayer. It's been created by Richard and Katrina Down, husband and wife. It's a 17-minute medicine effect and power up through rare Shipibo Ikaro healing song and sound healing frequencies. It's a prayer song, and their wish is to bring strength and healing. They created the sound healing with built-in gamma frequencies and rumbling extremely low frequencies, the heartbeat of the earth. They use strategic sounds to influence subtle energy to give feelings of well-being. It is incredible. I usually do this meditation quite frequently, most nights, and it has incredible effects. It's a short one. We won't have time for all of it, but I will do a guided relaxation as well with it. So are you okay if I begin the meditation?
Yes, please do. Sure. Thank you.
Take a breath, a breath, a breath through the nose, and gently, gently release through the mouth, opening the mouth gently and allowing that breath to flow. Feeling the cool breeze as you breathe. Breathing in relaxation and breathing out any stress that you feel right now. On the in-breath, breathing in peace, love, joy. And on the out-breath, breathing out stress, worries, concerns, pain. Feel the scalp relax. Feel the eyes soft and heavy. Relax. As you swallow, notice your shoulders rising and falling. As you breathe in relaxation, breathing out any pain or concerns you have right now. Feeling the eyes soft and heavy as you close them. Tongue soft in the mouth. Shoulders rising and falling with each breath. If there's any sounds, notice them and let them go. Arms relax. Wrists relax. Hands, fingers, thumbs, relax. Upper abdomen, relax. Lower abdomen, relax. Noticing the chest rise each time you breathe in and out as it falls. Breathing in and out gently into the belly, breathing all the way down into the belly. Buttocks, relax. Thighs, relax. Knees, lower legs, ankles, relax. Feet, relax. Toes, relax. The whole front of the body, relaxed. The whole back of the body, relaxed. And if you feel any tightness, squeeze and relax. Any uncomfortableness, relax. And moving into a place of the heart. This is where all our resources are. Our peace, our joy, our compassion, our love. And feel yourself being bathed in a shower of pure white light, the purest of all white lights. Just feel from the top of your head all the way down the body, and feeling the whole body shower in healing white light. The whole body showered in healing white light. Feel your feet. Feel your body. Place your hand on your heart. And say, I love you. And feel that connection of being in your heart and being in a place of peace. Because this is inside of you. It's not outside of you. It's inside. And we can all go here and find our own inner peace.
That was absolutely beautiful, Caroline.
Thank you. Thank
I
you
really
very much.
appreciate that. I needed that too. That's a great way for us to close out this show and just be grateful. And again, say that we love ourselves, right? If we don't love us, how can anyone else?
And that's resolving inner battle. When we love ourselves, that's where we find everyone else will love us too.
Exactly. Carol, I'm going to spotlight you one last time and put up your banner. And please let us know how people can reach you if they're interested in a session with you or they're interested in helping with the World Peace Initiative. Any way that they can contact you.
You can reach me on nomorestress@live.co.uk. That's nomorestress@live.co.uk. Email me and let me know how you can help me create world peace. Or email me if you would like a free consultation. I can do it by Zoom or by telephone. My number is +44 0 if you are UK, 7523 120 189. I offer a free telephone or Zoom consultation to help you with anything that's bothering you, 1 or 2 symptoms or a situation. You will have incredible relaxation and peace at the end of that consultation. It's my gift to give you that for free. This is how we create world peace.
Thank you, Caroline. As I've mentioned several times, I'm working with Caroline and she's really helping me. So I think you should definitely reach out to her now. Now is the moment to pick up the phone or email. Thank you again, Caroline. It's beautiful seeing you, and I wish you have a lovely weekend.
You too. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Namaste. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
That was fantastic. Thank you. Okay, we've got one show left, and I'm going to head over to the studio now. And the next show is The Listening Mentor. That would be me. And I answer your questions. So we have 2 questions to answer tonight in my 8-minute live, and I'll be right back doing that. So thank you again for being with us, and please stay tuned.